Medical dispatch. Caller, can you tell me exactly what happened?
Life EMS has handled thousands of calls just like this since 2004. Each one is analyzed and stored in a database.
This here is our current control center.
Then, the information is used to predict the future.
10-4-265.
At Life Ambulance, they say they know when you are going to need an ambulance 10 minutes before you do. It's all here on the dispatcher's screen.
Much like a weather radar, it shows graphically in color where the next emergency call is going to be.
It's called predictive deployment. It works by using past 911 calls. For example, they will look at all the prior calls from, say, a Wednesday night at 10 p.m., and by mapping it out, they try to predict where they'll be needed in the future. The system refreshes every 10 minutes.
Now we look at the demand radar and we determine the best place to position that ambulance.
257, show you transporting priority 2 to Butterworth.
Life EMS has been using this software since 2009.
We actually had crews that would question us. Ambulance crews, paramedic crews out on the road would question, why are we going there? We never go there. And within 10 minutes they're going to a priority 1 a block and a half away.
Tony Sorensen says on average it shaves a minute off each call they respond to. Precious time when responding to things like a heart attack.
1 minute can make the difference in survivability.
He says it works on the theory that our daily lives are predictable.
When you drive to work, you probably drive the same route every time. When you go to the store to go grocery shopping, you probably go to the same store. You probably even park in the same part of the parking lot. You probably even enter the same door of the store. Human behavior has been determined to be extremely predictable.
And so this takes that to the next step, saying we know where the next emergency is going to come from.
Absolutely. Yep. And we have learned from that and found it to be extremely accurate.
So the next time you're out driving around town and see an ambulance parked in a lot, it's likely there for a reason. Like a giant game of chess, they are pieces strategically placed on the city grid. And the people moving the pieces are quite confident they're going to win.
Amazing grace.
Fred Meyer will forever rest on the grounds of Frederick Meyer Gardens, a place in a community he loves so much.
That's it.
The grocery store billionaire had a life passion for business and people, even in his final moments.
Yes, on Friday, the morning of his passing, Fred was going to make store visits. On his visits, he'd walk across the checkout area with his trusty walker. He would bring the checkout process to a halt as he greeted everybody. And as he walked away, everybody in that checkout area would have a smile on their face.
The billionaire who transformed the grocery store to the supercenter made generous donations through the decades, always investing back into the community. He was a true giant in business and philanthropy, but he's remembered most for his humble character.
The only thing I can remember is, even though we wore name badges, I think if we turned our name badge the other way, he would still remember who he was. That's about it. And his purple cow things, too. So, just a really, really nice man.
Provided jobs for us. It was always an inspiration when he came in the store, because he always shopped at store 312. And I was 12, and he was just an inspiration for everybody. Always had nobody was a stranger to him, and nobody was below him. Everybody was on his level. If there was anybody else in this world that was godlike, it was Fred.
From the countless employees and strangers who came to his massive public memorial, to the close friends and family who reflected on his life at a private service in Grand Rapids Township.
He had that gift of connecting with people, listening, being patient, finding out what they needed, and helping them.
For me, he was a best friend, a mentor, a constant cheerleader.
Fred Meyer wanted to make an impact on the world.
The world's a little better because he came along. If that happens, then I'll have done my job.
And he did. In Grand Rapids Township, Lindsay Kuss, Fox 17 News.
Around the world, a child dies every 15 seconds from lack of clean water. That's according to Living Water International, a nonprofit helping communities acquire clean water. At the Zeeland Natatorium, almost 700,000 gallons of water are used by Zeeland swim and dive teams daily for practice and meets. The The pool alone holds enough water for 220,000 people to use for just one day.
So me and my dad thought, we're in the pool all the time as swimmers, so why don't we just start raising money for a well for people who don't have clean water.
Zach's team loved the idea. Soon they were selling t-shirts and collecting donations to build a well in Ethiopia, where clean water is often scarce.
It's like a very hard soil, so they have a really hard time drilling through it to get water. And also, any water that's on the surface, like animals bathe in it, they bathe in it, they use it pretty much for everything because it's the only water source they have.
The young men even invited others to participate, asking 7 additional schools to raise $2,000 each for a grand total of $16,000. The response was overwhelming.
Getting a lot of feedback from our students. We sold them wristbands for $1. I sold out in the first day alone. And I'm surprised that we did this well for the amount of time we had, but it turned out very well.
The swimmers and divers are even asking friends to drink only free tap water, donating what they would have spent on a coffee or pop to the fund.
I feel it's kind of cool because like the community comes together and they give money and contribute to help building the well.
I'd use it every day. I'd use it in multi different forms, snorting, smoking, injecting it.
Adam Strong, 41 years old, born and raised in Allegan County. He spent most of his adult life hooked on meth.
You wouldn't wake up because you'd already be up a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3. I mean, it was all consuming from the time you woke up until the time you went to bed. That was years and years that I missed out on everybody's lives.
Arrested over and over, the father of 3 spent decades in and out of prison.
I've been miserable for 30 years of my life. I've been incarcerated for 17.5 years of my life. I had to be stopped from doing this drug.
You ask the average person on the street, people who are in the law enforcement community, what can you do with a meth addict? They'll tell you nothing. Well, that's not true.
Meet Steve Walker. His official title is Case Manager for the Allegan County Sheriff's Department Meth Diversion Program, and he's made it his mission to help addicts get their life back.
I follow people, track people, test people, push them. All the streets I've driven you on, they all have people in the program or people who have been in the program. You know, these folks live everywhere.
We caught up with the ex-parole officer on a blustery Monday. Walker starts off his shift by tracking one of the 15 program participants to this parking lot. He's tough, taking no excuses.
So your usual medications?
Yes.
Submitting the participant to a random drug test, a huge part of the program and meth rehabilitation.
So this is just your meds and nothing else, right?
Yep.
A quick handshake and they part ways.
Good luck. I'll talk to you tomorrow. There is no warning. It's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and I just show up whenever. I work out of my car, and you know, wherever they are, that's where I go.
His next stop, a rest area off 131. A restaurant worker, also a former addict in the program. He gets a test and gives Walker an update on his day.
I started talking to somebody about getting Thursday off work.
Then it's back on the road.
When they are not employed, their job is to find a job.
All participants are tested daily, sometimes more. He'll drop off the swabs at a lab later that night. The results reveal everything that's in their system down to the last cigarette.
Mostly, if they've used something, they'll tell me before they're even tested. If I have a problem with someone, they're typically going to go to jail.
The program, funded by federal and state grant money, was up and running by 2005, designed to combat Allegan County's meth problem. Supported by the courts and a large network of law enforcement, it seeks out meth users who have been arrested over and over, far gone into their addiction. The first phase is detox in jail.
We recommend to the judge at the time of sentencing that rather than be sent to prison, the defendant be placed on probation and ordered to complete our program.
A review board then decides if they're appropriate for phase 2, which includes intense therapy, AA, along with the random drug testing and Steve Walker.
I sometimes just sit and watch. You know, they don't often know when I'm there.
The final 2 phases help the addict re-enter society and stay clean.
We require that they make an effort.
For Adam, the program is working.
That keeps you honest. Always knowing that he could be there.
Adam is in the final phase of the program and has been sober now for nearly 2 years. He's on track to complete the program in a few months, joining the list of 33 graduates who have been rehabilitated.
It's definitely saved my life.
And that is why Walker says he stays tough and keeps doing his job.
Eventually, they all come to the same conclusion. This is the best thing that ever happened to them. We salvage people, we save people. They don't go to prison. The cycle is broken.